OG Anunoby is playing amazing basketball with the New York Knicks this season, showing what looks like one of the best seasons of his NBA career, where not only is he locking down everyone as per usual, he's, knock wood, been staying on the court, and he also has shown a new level of offense that we have not seen, and this makes the Knicks absolutely unstoppable, because with OG Anunoby playing this way, you have another deathly scorer who the New York Knicks are going to be able to flaunt on the court when you have a guy like Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns out there and have defenses so focused into him. OG Anunoby is showing that he has been able to cook in this role, especially with the five out, creating more opportunities for him with cuts and open threes in the corner. And this all culminated in the best game of his NBA career, putting up 40 points on the Denver Nuggets in a game the New York Knicks won 145 to 118, shutting up the MVP up to this point in Nikola Jokic, while we've also still seen Mikal Bridges still trying to find his footing with the New York Knicks fully. The New York Knicks have an absolute three-headed monster of Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby as that third guy in here. I mean, I don't see it happening, but it does feel like he could, if he was a more flauntier player. It feels like we could be able to see him in an all-star game this year, Dariel, especially if the Knicks start to win games. If they just kept winning and got better and were a top two seed and OG and the Knicks are in the media, it's one of those things that, though not likely, could become possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of different things we could talk about. You touched on some of them. You touched on OG and Anunoby's play. You touched on Karl Anthony Towns. You touched on just the way the team played. Man, I mean, obviously we're gonna focus on OG, but like if I just take a step back, tonight was one of the most amazing displays of just teamwork, of offensive strategy, of everything. The assists for a team, I think they tied the record. Like everything that they were throwing up was going in. You saw the ball movement, you saw the body movement. And that was surely a nice sign to see right after the disappointing loss against the Utah Jazz on Saturday. But OG, man, like, golly, man, like this guy is just. I think I said it in the Phoenix Suns post game last week. I said, like, after every game, there's something about OG that I see that it looks like he's improving or that he's like winning me over. And then today, 40 points. He was 16 of 23 from the field, 70%, 5 of 7 from 3-point line, 71.5%. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me with those numbers? Those numbers are ridiculous. That is NBA 2K standards, bro. 23 shots, 16 he made. 7 threes. It's not like he took 3 or 4. He took 7 threes and he hit 5 of them. That is, again, that's just a little bit of an admiration. We should not be expecting this from OG every game. Absolutely not. And something else we need to point out with OG is his durability. He played 37 minutes tonight. And it's funny how Coach Tibbs had the starting five in, and with like 2 minutes left to go in the game, I'm like, Jesus, the game was over by like the fourth quarter. Not even, maybe like halfway through the third. But whatever, that's something else. But man, I was honestly like, I'm a little in shock of how well they all played tonight. I mean, Cat had a super good game, but it's overshadowed by OG's game. But man, tonight's game was just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, OG looked great, and it just feels like the way this New York Knicks team has a five-out offense, everyone just looks so efficient. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns back at the center position for the first time in a few years, as when he was playing on the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was center there, but his numbers got worse when he moved to the 4 spot. And look, we're seeing him back at the 5 now, and the man looks absolutely awesome there. He's cooking 30 and 15. You have OG doing this. It feels like this offense is just clicking on all cylinders. Everyone's doing their job. Mikal's play could be better, but I think it will get there. I think he's just having a cold start. Mikal Bridges is known to go through slumps. This is not the first time it's happened. He's also looking very good at certain things, such as his shot creation in the mid-range. So it does feel like Mikal Bridges will get it all under control sooner rather than later. But just, I mean, OG this season putting up, prior to this game, 18 points per game. That's going to take a jump up right now. That's the most he's averaged ever in his NBA career. like he said it in the broadcast in the interview after the game. He was like, "Yeah, I was working on everything over the offseason." And he absolutely was. He's not one of those guys who took a big contract, then kind of kicked their feet up at their desk and decided, "Hey, I'm set for life. I never have to work another day in my life. I just have to not void this contract in any way, and I'm good to go." So the fact is, OG Anunoby looks just like an absolute star this year. He's shooting 40% from three, over 40% from three, over 50% from the field. The man just looks great. Like, it's hard to not love what you've seen from OG this season. And the one fear is that no matter what happens, you are going to see OG Anunoby miss 20 games in a season. I mean, last season in total, he played 50 games. Season before that, 67. Before that, 48 and 43. OG has had injury concerns in the past, and it is something that you have to consider and think about. Okay, maybe we don't have an eight-man rotation, but it just feels like it's going to stay this way until the New York Knicks get some of their guys healthy back. We saw Deuce McBride come back and be healthy, and he had a rough first quarter, then picked it up and
Right.
looked absolutely great, like the Deuce McBride that we know. Cameron Payne's been playing well.
Maybe this is the year OG doesn't miss 20 games. I mean, I know
So
I wouldn't put my money on it. Absolutely not. So I'm with you. We should expect OG to miss some games. So we'll see what happens. Mikal Bridges, like you said, 14 points, 6 of 16 from the field, 37.5%, 2 of 8 from 3-point line, 25%. He's been struggling lately. Tonight's game and Saturday's game, what I should say though is his shots just aren't falling. I don't want to hear the word hitch in his shot. I don't want to hear that phrase at all from anybody. I don't care if it's a random person on the street. If I hear them, I'm smacking them. Mikal Bridges' shot is just not falling. And like as a basketball player, what are you gonna do? Not shoot? And especially
yeah,
the type of player Mikal Bridges is, and for like what we need him to do, we need him to find his groove. But the shot is just not falling, and you can't blame him. He's taking the shots; they're just not falling. So I feel like he'll get out of his he'll get out of his funk, hopefully sooner than later. I mean, I do want to harp on Cat as well. Like he's going up against Jokic. Jokic is if he keeps playing the way he's playing, it's ridiculous. Like he's gonna have another MVP season. Cat had 30 points and 15 rebounds, 12 of 15 from the field, 80%. He only took 3-pointers, which is interesting, and he made both of them. Cat had a nice game, man. He had a nice game of attacking the rim. I didn't see maybe if you can help me recall, but I didn't see a lot of post-ups. A lot of them were like just like mid-range shots, him catching the ball at the top of the key and doing that dumb 2 ginormous steps, Euro step that he always does. Do you recall any like post-ups that he had where they gave him the ball on the block?
he didn't get a lot of them. No.
No, right? Exactly. But I mean, other than that, like he still had a really good game, and man, it's hopefully we could just keep this rolling. And Mike Green said it during the telecast that you like to see the response from the Knicks today because that game on Saturday was it was disappointing. It was disheartening. You could tell that they came out of the gate just lackadaisical and lazy. So you can tell that Coach Tibbs was pretty mad, and they came out with a certain spirit. So man, just good things for today's game. Great things. Your boy Campaign. I don't know. I don't know if you saw my video, my post game video that I had for the Utah game. I talked about Campaign because you gave me the per 36, and then I just went to the direct numbers of the playoffs games. We'll see, man.
I like it. It's good stuff.
We'll see. Nah, man, but this was an amazing night. Such a great such a great win, great W tonight.
Yeah, and I think something about Mikal Bridges is he's shooting the ball still. It's not like he's getting afraid and not shooting the ball. He is shooting somewhere around 30% from three this season. He still took 8 threes tonight. He made 2 of them. It's not good enough. I agree with you. I couldn't care less about what his jump shot looks like. I mean, if we're going off that, like off what jump shots look like, then Klay Thompson should be a better shooter than Steph Curry. Steph Curry's got a somewhat unorthodox jump shot. His hand's very low.
Right.
But like, I don't care about Mikal Bridges' jump shot. I fully believe it is going to start falling sooner rather than later. He's getting the looks he wants. He's open. He's playing well within the system also. Like, yeah, I understand that there's a high expectation that the Knicks traded 5 first-round picks for him, but he's not a big stats guy. He never has been. And I mean, Yes, it was a really, really high price to pay. But what we're seeing is a Knicks team that the offense, while Mikal Bridges isn't shooting his most efficient, is still firing on all cylinders. When the defense picks up, and that'll be something that comes with time, because this is a much different Knicks team, and defense is so communication based, it's just going to take a bit. We saw that happen with the offense also. When you're a team led by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, while you have three other capable offensive players starting on the roster or in the starting five, the offense is going to figure itself out pretty quickly. Like, everyone's too good and they're all too team oriented for the offense to not be the first thing to get figured out, and they did it. It's now just a matter of getting that defense rolling, and once it does, the Knicks are going to look like they can compete with any team in basketball because this roster is looking increasingly hard to stop. I think what we're going to see is Mikal's going to have that shot falling. We're going to see a healthier Knicks team, and when that happens, they're going to be a really, really difficult team to beat.
Obviously, this is a Knicks YouTube channel, but can we do 2 seconds on the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, sure.
Dude, they're in trouble, bro. They're in trouble.
They're just not that good. They have the best player in basketball, and that's it.
They're not, bro. I don't know what the hell they were doing by giving up Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, KCP. Like, Bruce Brown and KCP were essential parts of your championship team, and little by little, they just gave them up. Like, they're depending on players that are not proven, bro. Christian Brown, Strawther, Payne Watson. Like, these players are not proven, and then you're just automatically putting them in the limelight and expected them to replace the productivity of the players that I just mentioned. Like, Jeff Green, okay, he's on the other side of his career, so not really him. But Bruce Brown and KCP, like, oh my God, bro, I think they're gonna end up in the play-in. Maybe if they go on a winning streak, maybe they'll end up in the 7th or 8th seed. Well, I mean, in the 7th seed. But more than likely, I think it's gonna be play-in time for them. Russell Westbrook, I like him, man. He's one of my favorite players. He gets a really bad rap, and isn't the struggles that the Denver Nuggets are having, they're not on his shoulders. It's not his fault. But for some reason, he doesn't help in the cause as well. And I feel like that's why wherever he goes, I feel like that's why he gets all this bad rap, because he's a MVP. He averaged triple doubles for, I think, consecutive seasons. So, like, there's an expectation with Russell Westbrook with his name. And then when you're not really seeing it, it's like, oh, who to blame? Oh, let's just blame Russell Westbrook. But I'm not blaming Russell Westbrook. I'm just saying that the Denver Nuggets, from what I've seen and some games that I've seen against the Lakers and against other Western Conference teams, like, dude, I think they're going to be struggling for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't imagine that they're going to go anywhere real in the playoffs. I mean,
they're not winning a championship.
Oh, no, absolutely not. It's this situation where they go exactly as far as Jokic can carry them. I mean, losing Bruce Brown, losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, losing Jeff Green, all three of them were free agency losses. And now the argument is, well, the second apron put them in a position where they had to let him go. They just couldn't offer what other teams are going to offer. The only reason that is because they gave Jamal Murray all the money in the world. They shouldn't have done that. Like, I understand how integral Jamal Murray has been in that series against the Lakers, and I'm a huge LeBron fan, so I was rooting for the Lakers. It just was like, yeah, he was great. He was unbelievable. He shot over 50% from three. But it feels like that money would have been better spent elsewhere when you have multiple players who add more to the team than one guy does. Having Bruce Brown there and having Kentavious Caldwell-Pope there, in my mind, helps the Nuggets more than having Jamal Murray there. You're going to be weak on shot creation, but you can find that via trades. And you can't always find a great role player via trade. Look what happens when you try to trade for the perfect player to fit on your team. You end up giving away 5 first-round picks to the team across town from you because both teams know how good that makes one team. Like, the Knicks just to tie it back into the Knicks, like, they got a lot better because the Mikal Bridges trade, when Bridges is at his best, it's going to help them win games more than anything. Same thing as the OG trade, when they traded 2 flashier players away for OG Anunoby. What matters is the amount of wins you have. It doesn't matter about, well, this person averages this stats. Jamal Murray, it feels like paying him instead of these role players now is something you look back on and think that was probably a crucial error that kind of caused this slip by the Nuggets. It also just shows how fast the NBA landscape changes.
Facts.
Dude, a few years ago, I mean, you would have said like, I mean, healthy, the most electric series could have been in 2022 was Nuggets Bucks. Like the Bucks still at full strength, still doing their thing with Drew Holiday and a healthy Middleton and Giannis being Giannis
A
and
couple
Brook
seasons ago,
Lopez and
you were
all that.
kind of you. A couple seasons ago, when they won the championship, you were like, Jokic is not going to slow down. The supporting cast is amazing. Some people were saying dynasty, which was crazy, but I could see it. I wasn't saying it, but I could see it. And now they're like, you have the best player in the world. With what do they have with him? He can't do it by himself, as we've seen time and time again. So, dude, it's just interesting to see what the Denver Nuggets are. All right, guys, so that's it for today's video. For Chris and I, we want to say thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. And, of course, you guys know the drill. You guys know the vibes. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose. Deuce, welcome back. It's a great sight to see. And I'm changing it from Mikal Bridges. I'm changing it from Mikal Bridges to OG Anunoby, Defensive Player of the Year, and Taj Gibson for President, as always. But until next time, we'll check you guys out in the next video.